आवृतं ज्ञानमेतेन ज्ञानिनो नित्यवैरिणा कामरूपेण कौन्तेय दुष्पूरेणानलेन च.
So he says jnanam, jnanam jnanino. Jnanam of the person, the knowledge or the wisdom of the person who is aware, who knows, of the wise person. Avritam is enveloped. Etena, by this. Nitya vairina, nitya, constant, always, ever present. Vairina, enemy. So this enemy is always present and envelops the wisdom of the knowing. Why wisdom of the person who is wise? Because the person who is wise is constantly aware of what's going on in the mind. If you are blissfully unaware and doing, if I'm blissfully unaware and go rob a bank, thinking it is the right thing to do, it doesn't matter anyway. So when you're doing a wrong thing without even knowing it is wrong, or not even caring whether it is wrong, whether it is that part, that question is not even entering the person's mind intellect, then it's anyway irrelevant. It does not matter. But a person who knows, a person who is aware of this intrusion by this enemy, I know this is wrong. We talked about it in last satsang also. I know it is wrong, but there is some magnetic power that is making me do it. I know this is not beneficial for me, but I'm still doing it. That jnanino, that person's wisdom is enveloped. Hence, use of the term nitya vairina, because it's constantly there. It is there before, during, after, all the time, throughout. And Bhagavan says, kama rupena, this form, rupa, which form, in which form? In the form of desire. In the form of this enemy, in the form of desire, dushpurena alena cha. It is unappeasable. Dushpurena, it cannot be fulfilled. So whatever you may do, there is no way, it's not going to be fulfilled. It is all devouring. Like analena. Analena is a raging fire, not just a fire that is out, like a forest fire, that is out to completely spreading, wildly going, a wildfire. That is analena. A raging fire. O Kaunteya, son of Kunti. So a person suffering from dysentery goes to a doctor and gets some medications prescribed, and the instruction is, for the next 2 days, consume only barley water or only electrol in today's world, right? The person after about half a day starts getting restless and is yearning. The tongue, the body can't hold it, by the way. The tongue is yearning for something interesting to eat. And by dinner time is completely rested because of the Rajasic guna, and eats a proper meal, consumes a proper meal. Basically has lost faith in the doctor's prescription and he has succumbed to desire. Then what happens? That middle of the night, he needs to be taken to hospital. That's the result of losing faith. So this person without faith compounded his own suffering by complaining. Oh my God, I should get to eat something. The entire day he complained. By night dinner time, he succumbed and he compounded his own suffering. On the contrary, if you see a person who has faith in the doctor, will use the capabilities that he inherently has, the Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, the discipline, he will use that and adhere to the prescription of the doctor without complaining till completely cured. We see this all around us in our daily life. Similarly, God in his infinite love prescribes a medication. And that medication is nothing but a medium to exhaust our inherent tendencies, the vasanas. The same vasanas that force us towards, what we know we should not be doing. He prescribes this medication in his infinite love. If we think that this prescription is suffering, then we will keep complaining about it. And we'll keep adding to our suffering as well as to our vasanas, to our inherent energies. Because, like I said, it's a weed, it grows, it's like the jack and beanstalk, virulent virus. So the more you feed it, the more it will grow and the faster it will grow. In contrast, a person who has immense faith in Lord, put the faith in me, in my teaching. That's what Bhagavan says. When we have that faith and we follow his teachings, then we go through these experiences without any suffering. Swami Chinmayananda said that acting against your own convictions is called a sin. When we know we have that conviction but we act against it, that is a sin. When the mind goes against our own will and the intellect makes compromises, then what happens? Then there is internal disturbance, there is internal questioning. Our conscience questions us. There is disquiet within our own mind intellect. When something external criticizes us, it's much easier to deal. Anyone, anything, from outside of us, that tells us what you're doing is wrong. It's much, either we can stop it, or move away, ignore it, not listen. We can adopt various means to deal with it. What would you do when there is questioning from within? What would happen then? That critical call from within is the conscience prick, or the call of the conscience. So there are a number of people today. Today is the COVID world, remember, okay? But people still want to go out. I know a few people, they want to go out. One of my friends in Delhi wants to go out. I'm really fond of eating in restaurants. I want to go. I need to go to the parlor. I have to go. But the mind knows. If it doesn't know, then anyway it is irrelevant. But when the mind and intellect knows that it could lead to harm, but still that desire of wanting to go, even though it is COVID, that knowing, jnani know, that person's mind gets enveloped by this desire. That person's wisdom gets enveloped by this desire. Sri Ramakrishna says, just as the indicator in a balance, it sways to one side, it moves to one side, depending on the weight that is put in the balance. So whichever is the heavier side, it swings to that side. Similarly, the mind of man moves away from God when lured by the weight of desire. So the weight of desire takes the mind away from Bhagavan.